Welcome you all back to our social class, and I hope you all are really understanding the climate chapter. Okay, fine. So we are at the climate chapter. So we are supposed to understand what is this climatical changes that happens in our nation. It is really very important chapter. So be patient and listen what has been explained throughout the video, my dear students, because without understanding this, we cannot understand the climatical condition that is prevailing in our country. Okay, so come, let us get into today's topic. So we are seeing about the climatical conditions, and we have seen many other content. Today we are going to see the seasons in India. So if you see seasons are varying for 6 months once or 3 months once. You can find the variation of the season that happens. So we have divided the seasons based on their characteristics. It has been classified as hot weather season, cold weather season, advance in monsoon, retreating monsoon. So this is how it has been classified. You can see that will be called as the rainy season, winter season, summer season, spring season and autumn season. Like that we have classification just prevailing. So if you see about our topic today is that we are supposed to know about the weather condition. So we have a distinct weather condition which is prevailing. It is an weather phenomena. We say that it is a weather phenomena which is prevailing in our nation. So these weather phenomena is being classified based on the temperature and annual rainfall that has been over that particular area. So first thing that we are going to see about the cold weather season. So if we see, before getting into the cold weather season, I hope your lower class teacher might have explained you all these things, even though I am explaining you again, because this is very important for us to know while we are learning this chapter. So in your lower classes you might have studied only 4 directions. Do you remember? That is north, south, west and east. So these are the 4 important things which you might have learned. Okay, and it is mandatory to 9th and 10th, whenever you are plotting a map, you are doing the map activity, it is supposed to be placed at the top left side of your paper or the map. It should be made. It is compulsory, my dear students. And so this is the main thing, but we have still more 4 other directions which we are supposed to know while we are learning this chapter. That is the northeastern and the northwestern regions, and we are supposed to know the southeast and southwest region. So you might be doing like this and all for drawing aspects, but when you cut by this way, it is the northwestern direction, and this is the northwestern direction, northeastern direction, and this is northeast, and this is southwest direction. So these are the directions which are supposed to be very clear about it. And come, let us get into today's topic, that is cold weather season. So if you see, cold weather usually starts in the mid of November. So it will be starting in the month of November. So mid of November will be starting. So with this mid of November, you can find the cold temperature which will be prevailing throughout the nation. Then you can find that the December and January will be too cooler. The temperature will still more decrease. Particularly in the northern regions, you can find the temperature which will get decreased still more further. Okay, and you can find that in Chennai the temperature will be around 24 to 25 degrees Celsius. In northern region the ranges will be around 15 to 10 degrees Celsius. That is how the temperature of the northern region will be prevailing. That is Delhi, Jammu Kashmir, those regions and all. Then you can find that during this time what happens is that the daytime will be very warmer. It will be very warm. You can enjoy the warmness over there, and at the night time you can find it is really cooler, and it will even go into the frozen condition in most of the northern regions. Okay, so this is the beginning stage. The mid of November will be starting, and January and December will be experiencing the more higher temperature that is very low in the temperature, which will be remaining, that is 15 to 10 degrees Celsius in the northern regions, and it may even go in minus degrees in few places. Okay, so that is another thing. Then you can see that during this time the day will be warmer and the night will be so cooler. Then you can find during this season, that is the cold weather season, you can find that the trade wind, we have studied trade winds which have been described by the Arabians. So the trade winds, they will start moving towards the northeastern direction. So how will you decide northwestern direction? So they are saying from the north to the western direction. So you can see arrow mark which have placed, so it will be moving by this direction. So northwest direction it will be moving. So when it's moving towards from the northern to the western direction, you can find it is actually moving from the land body to the water body. This is land, right? So this is land and it is sea. So when it is moving towards the land, you can find that it will not have lot of moisture content because the air is traveling from a land area to a sea area. So what happens, it will have very less of moisture content, and that air that has been traveling from here to here will be dry. It will not have any kind of moisture content in it. It will be like dusty, stormy, those kind of air only will be present because it is from the land area to the sea area. So just a small thing which you can even do at home. You have table fans at home. If you are having, just try this. It will be really helpful for you to understand this. That is, you place a bucket or a vessel of water near the table fan. Okay, and sit near that. So when the water touches the water, when the air touches the water and it moves towards the direction, you can find some kind of cool air which reaches you. That is called as the moisture content in the air. So when it is traveling in the normal air surface, it will not have the water content. When it is touching and moving the water, along with the water, you can find it will carry the moisture content along with that. Similarly here, if it is traveling from this direction to this direction, that is from the western to the northern direction, if it is moving, you can find definitely it will have the moisture content because from here it is moving. Okay, so but what happens here is that it is moving from the land to the sea. This is called as leeward side movement of the air. So this leeward side movement of the air will be very dry. It will have only dust particles. It will have very less of moisture content in it. And this air will not be that much good for the common peoples. Okay, then you can see that when it is coming by this way, it will reach the Tamil Nadu coastal regions. So these areas. So when it is reaching here, you can find as if the air is blowing, and if I stop that with the book, what happens? It will have a crash over here, and if it is having water content, it will pour down there. So similarly, when the airs are been traveling, you can find it is obstructed by the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So when it is stopped by the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, you can find a small amount of rain happens over there in Tamil Nadu and the coastal regions. Okay, so that is thing. Then you can find that, then again what happens is that in the northern part of India, the high pressure is created because it is a land area, it will get heated soon. So high pressure is created. So what happens? So air from low pressure to the high pressure, it will start traveling, yes or no? So what happens? The air starts moving towards the low pressure to the high pressure. So with the light wind moving towards, so when it is heated, what happens? It comes in the form of an outward movement will happen and it will start moving. Yes, so when that is happening, it is influenced by the relief features. You can find Aravalli ranges are there. Yes, Aravalli range, Vindhya ranges are there, and here you have the Himalayas. So these relief features are affecting them, and the wind that is blowing from the Ganga valley, the Ganga, it is from the western direction. So western to the eastern direction it is moving. Okay, so it is influencing the wind to blow through the west Ganga valleys to the west to the northwest. From the west to the northwest it is moving. Okay. So this normal temperature, when this is happening, you can find that sky will be very clear. It will not have any moisture content and will not be very dark and all. It will be very clear and the temperature will be normal and comparatively low. It cannot be said as the normal, will be low, and also you can find that the humidity that will be very low in that area. Humidity. Okay, and this air, when it is blowing from the west to the northwestern direction, it will create some impact over there. So it will create an rainfall, small downpour, small kind of rainfall which will be happening in that area. So this is how the rainfall, the cold climate over there. During the cold climate, we will not get much of rainfall. Instead, it will be very cooler, right? Yes or no? It will not be like rainy season. Yes, January, December and all, you can find that it will be really cooler months, where you can find lot of mist, snow which will be present. But it will not be in the form of a rainfall which will happen. Yes. Rainy season only you can find lot of rainfall which will happen and burst in monsoon will happen. These kind of things happens. So now we will see the characteristics of the cold weather season. So what are the characteristics of the cold weather season? If you see, it will be influencing, this season is over the northern plain. It happens mostly in the northern plains and it is inflow of the cyclonic disturbance that happens from the west and the northwest. So what happens in the Mediterranean regions? So in these areas, Mediterranean regions are there. So from Mediterranean region, the air starts moving. Okay, so they get into the central part of India, and in the Western Asia also it will get heated up. We saw many reasons, right? So when those airs are moving towards the Indian continent, you can find that it will be entering, flowing the center of the India. So it is influencing the center part of the Indian states alone. Here alone you can find some kind of impact that will be created. So it is a low pressure system which is created in the original place of Mediterranean Sea and the West Asian countries. So it starts moving towards India, and along with that you can find the west flowing wind also present. West flowing wind, so which is west flowing wind. So the winds will be flowing towards the western direction. So when from the Mediterranean Sea when the airs are coming, both are getting collided in a particular place. So when they are getting collided in a particular place, the western cyclone disturbances happens. Okay, so because of that, the center part, interior part of the India alone will receive some amount of rainfall. Okay, so the rainfall that is received in the winter season, the amount also will be very slow. In few places it will be in the form of rainfall, few places it will be in the form of a snow. Okay, and this is called as the Mahavati. The small amount of rainfall that is received, it is known as Mahavati. And this rainfall, as soon as this rain pours down, that initiates or that makes the farmers to cultivate the rabi crops. So rabi crops will be grown at that time. Then these peninsular regions, they does not have well-defined cold aspects. So this peninsular region will not have much of cold climate at that time. Hardly they will have a notable change. That's the small notable change which will be happening. Beyond that, nothing else will be present, but the temperature pattern will be changing during this seasons. And due to this, you can find that the moderate influence, small amount of influence will be happening in these areas. Other than that, there won't be any kind of changes which will be happening. Okay, so might be understood the cold weather season. Cold weather seasons are the season which starts from the mid of the November and it will be December, January, and till February you can find the cold weather season which will be prevailing. And the temperature will be varying from place to place. For example, Chennai will be around 24 to 25 degrees Celsius. In the northern regions it will be ranging from 15 to 10 degrees Celsius. Then you can find that these temperature will be starting to increase or will be decreasing in their temperature, but will not be receiving much of rainfall as the flow of air is from the land to the sea. So there won't be much of rainfall which will be prevailing. Instead you can find the coolness which will be prevailing at the night time. Particularly daytimes that will be warmer. Okay, my dear students, I hope you would have understood this content clearly. Okay, thank you students. We'll see the next content in the next class. Bye.